Welcome to the Educate to Trade podcast with me, Chris Pollock.
And me, Z.
How are you getting on, Z? End of the summer, Labor Day today. As they say, selling may go away, come back again after Labor Day. So we're a day early, but how have you been?
Yeah, I've been resting a little bit, man. I followed your advice. I took the month off. Maybe took about 6 trades in the month, but I've been surfing. I've been sort of relaxing, and just taking a step back from the market and just letting it sort of play out first.
Yep.
I think September is a big month for us. But yeah, I've been resting. That. How's your holidays been?
Yeah, good. I'm pretty good these days. I'm just switching off altogether. So I had a good 2.5, 3 weeks there without any trading. Back in the desk now, ready to go. And yeah, well, I say ready to go tomorrow. I'm beating Brad at golf in about half an hour. So just prepping the week for you guys today. And then the week will start in earnest tomorrow. We also got deadline day today. This is probably what we should be doing a podcast about. Isak has signed, you'll be pleased to know, as a United fan. Mm-hmm. Liverpool's latest acquisition.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think both sort of Isak was one, and who's the other French kid that you guys signed a couple of weeks ago?
French kid? I don't know about French kid. We got an Italian kid. We got that centre back. Yeah. He's 6'5" centre back from Italy. He's about 16 years old. So we've got a few bodies coming in now.
Yeah, Liverpool don't have to play well. They just get the points now.
It's about points. It's like trading, right? It's not being right. It's about making money.
Making money. That's all it is. So that's where we are with Liverpool. Yeah, it's deadline day. We're all coming back. We're all coming back from our summer holidays. We're all sort of anticipating big moves in the market. We're anticipating moves. I think this month is quite big for me, especially. I think I want to kind of catch up with what I've been doing.
Leave me in because I've been away.
Yeah, you've been away. So one thing I've been sort of following, and this was a really good trade I got into, was a week and a half ago, right? We had this one sort of news coming out in the States, the U.S. building permits.
Yeah, I've heard the housing market is on its knees in the States. Long term,
it's pretty bad, and the way we sort of it's a yellow signal in Forex Factory and other places, but for me it's a big signal. It's a big signal to know how many houses are being built in that year from last year. It's a good sort of way of measuring the economy for me. And sort of my speculation with, I think Enzo was sitting here, I said that the numbers are not going to be great. and that's exactly what came out. We had a complete sort of, you can say, meltdown here. and this was the one good trade I took this month, and it was based around a bit of sort of data here. But since then I've been sort of relaxed. I'm sort of seeing the market sort of find its way a little bit, but that was one sort of thing that I sort of tapped into. The other thing is in crypto right now, all the crypto bros right now aren't going through a good time right now.
No, it's not been a good summer for the crypto bros.
We have not had a good summer. So if you see the crypto market, we are seeing red and red.
Yeah, stick it on the daily. Let's have a look at what's been going on.
If we see from a daily point of view, we are seeing nothing but red. We're seeing sort of high has been taken at the start of the month, and now nothing sort of appreciating from there. We were expecting 135, 140, talk about interest rate cuts. We were talking about, we were sort of selling the news, buying the rumor, but that did not work out here. We basically are seeing pullbacks, and I think we're all anticipating something big this month.
So what's going on with crypto? Because that's like crypto and stock markets are fairly well correlated, right? Yes. Risk on, risk off. Stock markets basically just off all-time highs. Why is crypto, how's it been down for 2, 3, 4 weeks in a way that stock markets really haven't?
The way it's worked is, so you have ETFs. So ETFs are sort of exchange funds that sort of a bunch of people in Wall Street and the world sort of invest in.
Yep.
And what we've seen is once we've hit these highs at 124K, we've seen a bunch of sell-off happens from the institutes. And sort of they're looking for the new dip to buy. And now we have the new ETFs. If you see Ethereum, for example, Ethereum's been a bit higher than Bitcoin because now the ETFs are coming out for them.
Yeah.
And you see a bunch of investment coming into them. I think a few billion every single day is being thrown into Ethereum. But this is what we want in crypto. What we see is the Bitcoin dominance. I think I spoke to you about this before. Like for all season, for all the other coins to really pump, we need to see Bitcoin dominance down below 50%.
Scroll out. Where are we at when were we last this low?
Look at this.
So wow, back at the beginning of the year, last year. Beginning of last year.
Beginning last, so 2024, December 24, when we were like below 54%, and we're starting to see that a little bit. So that's how crypto's kind of working.
Okay.
For me, but at the same time, I think we've seen all-time highs on Nasdaq. We've seen sort of really big pumps there, but we're not seeing that follow up in crypto right now. And I think that's the thing that we're kind of seeing. We're seeing a lack of interest right now. But I think it's all coming down to that Jerome Powell decision, I think.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I mean, I guess, maybe the crypto bros were all out in Ibiza celebrating this summer. Maybe there was no one left to buy. And now they're coming back. Maybe after Labor Day, they'll be back to their desks and start pumping this thing up again.
Yeah.
It reminds me, talking about ETFs, this is kind of like my introduction to trading was 20 years ago. ETFs were opening for the commodity markets. I was a commodity trader in my early days. And that was what was kind of drawing in pension fund money, right? You can't buy crypto, you can't buy Bitcoin outright in a pension fund. You can do these things through ETFs, regulated products. So it should be still a bullish overall picture. It's just a case of where's the dip in this, right? Or, as you've been saying for some time, when is alt season? In which case you don't even need to worry about Bitcoin, right? You've got your eyes elsewhere. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a pretty crazy end to the year. Normally, as you say, stock markets do pretty well typically as we run towards the end of the year, get into the old Santa rally, as they call it. So if those correlations kick back up, maybe those 140s we were talking about all those months ago could well come back in. But yeah, not been the best summer.
Not been the best. But yeah, that's what we're anticipating. I think we kind of predicted this a little bit. I think when we were talking, when Nasdaq and S&Ps were making highs, we were like, okay, now how does Trump get his decision? Right? How does he get? Because Powell wasn't giving in, right? So Powell was sort of giving comments and question about this is, are you lowering interest rates? Powell was sort of saying we have a good economy. Why do we have to go do that?
Yeah.
Right? And then I predicted with you that if we see things falling short from here, maybe we do get lower interest rates.
Yeah. Well, this is going to lead on quite nicely to what's coming up this week, right?
Yes. So that's what I want to talk about now.
Cool. Let's do it. Let's go to the meat of the week here, right? I mean, there's tons of data coming out. Let's maybe skirt through some of it. Today being Labor Day, there's not a single high impact news event out in the US. In fact, there's no data out in the US, but even in Europe, it's been pretty quiet. But it's the first week of the month. First week of the month is always heavy on data. ISMs are out. First week of the month, we've got manufacturing tomorrow, and the inflation metric at 3 o'clock. What I like about this week is that these are all separated out. Not often, but sometimes you can get the ISMs along with JOLTS. But JOLTS is nicely thread at 3 o'clock on Wednesday. And then we wait another day till 3 o'clock on Thursday to get the ISM services. So if you're trading data, I know a few of the guys in here are doing this. It's nicely spread. It's less to consider. And Thursday, by the way, you've got unemployment claims thrown in there, as well as ADP. And there's some earnings out from Broadcom, which, not a famous company, but it's really deserves to be kind of Mag 7 status these days. It's such a big institution. So this could be a really big day if it wasn't for the really big day, right? Non-farm payrolls on Friday. Look at this. Expectation, 74,000 jobs creation expected. Have a look back in time, and you have to go back to basically immediately post-COVID. It was January of 2021 where we expected 60,000 jobs. Yeah. We actually got minus 140. But that was the last time we expected so few jobs to be created. So, I mean, there's a clear pattern here anyway. You can see this. It's you don't need to be a chart analyst to see the trend in this. It's been weak, and it hasn't been any better really since Trump came in. Maybe that little push in Jan Bit of surprise in April. It's looking fairly ugly. I mean, I'm not calling for negative prints here. I mean, we got close, didn't we, in November? We got 12K. But if we keep going on this trajectory, talking about the Fed and their decisions, well, I mean, there's what, an 89% chance of a rate cut priced in by the Fed Fund futures. If we get a weak print on Friday, it's going to be north of 95. I think we're there. I think Powell said this over the summer. Didn't pick up on too much while I was away, but Jackson Hole was pretty clear that Powell was starting to make noises around rate cuts. So I think after this longer summer break between the two rate decisions that we get, this is where they're going to start on their, is it cutting cycle, single cut, or like the UK did, cut, pause, cut, pause, cut, pause. But I feel like it is the beginning, and the market's pricing it in already. So it'll take a blowout number to kind of give that any hope of reversing. I feel like we are nailed on for a rate cut. And that's going to be, what, July? I'm still back in time here. You see, tell when I went on holiday. If you go to September, September the 17th, this is when we're getting the rate decision. So a little bit of time to think about it. We've got a lot of Fed members still chatting now. We'll hear from them next week, but then it will be blackout. So yeah, you might want to tune into these Fed speakers a little bit over the course of this week and next before you stop hearing from them as we run into the big rate decision in September.
So that's what the first week of September is like. We get
back with a bang.
Back with a bang. We're getting the data. We're finding out. We're seeing. But as I said, like for me, markets have always priced themselves in before the moves. I've always sort of, it's not a conspiracy to me. I can prove this. Like whenever we've had big decisions, the economy kind of speculates, and then we see sort of highs or lows get taken out. And I think when I was looking at sort of S&P and Nasdaq highs, I was predicting, you know, a consolidation, and now we're seeing, you know, it sort of pull back. So we'll see if this sort of plays out.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, let's show people this S&P pullback relative to what we saw in Bitcoin, right? This is a daily chart on, this is the dominant side of it. But if you look at the ES here, I mean, we're off a little bit, but really we were posting all-time highs on Thursday. Okay, so we're really not seeing that liquidity pull in the same way on the indices. Yeah, this kind of fascinates me that there's got to be some sort of meaningful pullback at some point. Now, October is often a weak month, right? September's normally pretty good. It's normally into October we get a little bit of a worry, and then it really starts to ramp up through November, December. We probably don't want to think that far out just yet, but that's something that's really fascinating me, that we've had very little in terms of meaningful pullbacks ever since the U-turn on, or the week after that U-turn on tariffs. So yeah, I think there's dips to be bought into at some stage in the stock market. The other thing that's really interesting to me is gold, right? Gold. Yeah, we've seen gold do well. Okay, so this is the non-adjusted contract. You'll see this with those of you who trade like CFDs, there we go. Here we go, XAU, USD, where are we? So if you see the gold spot, that's kind of like the front month, right? It hasn't taken this high from the current contract. But if you look at the gold on the rolling front month futures and you adjust the contract, it actually has, right? We've taken out these highs. So we're right in the zone for potential breakout, potential fake out territory. Gold is well poised for volatility again. It's been a hell of a year for these markets in gold, hasn't it? What a move, really, since the start of the year. It was just straight up out of the gate in January, and it's barely looked back, right? It's been in a nice little triangular sort of pattern, a little consolidation one, and now having a little nudge. So I'm really fascinated about gold. I think stocks could be due a correction of sorts. Yeah, I feel like we are in a very interesting place in these markets at all-time highs again, except, of course, crypto.
I think we have to wait a little bit to see what Powell has to say. We have to see how the gold performs. I think gold is doing pretty well right now, but that also shows, like, I think that when the world economy sort of, you know, in uncertainty, we always see gold make highs. I think that's where we are currently with sort of the climates around war zones and sort of other things domestically in America. Well,
that's one thing we should probably talk about is Jackson Hole was one of the few things I picked up on when we were away, but the other one was Trump ousting Lisa Cook from the Fed, right? So yeah, the first female black Fed member, and he's going after her. Make of that what you will. But yeah, he's obviously trying to exert his influence on monetary policy, which principally he shouldn't, but in reality, this has been going on for generations. Political influence of the central banks. But yeah, he's doing it in a way only Trump can, with an iron fist, right? He's kind of like a bull in a china shop with this thing, trying to get people to quit, move on, or impeach or whatever, or send to jail. So I think the more he keeps talking about that, has Trump been around much? I mean, I say I'm only back in the office really end of last week. What's he been doing? Is he on his own holidays? Is he still busy?
The last couple of days he's not been in the White House.
Okay.
That's been the speculation. Everyone's been like, where is this guy? He's normally at the golf course or he's at the White House, just waiting for a meeting in Oval Office, and he's not been there for a couple of days.
Okay. So
I think he's taking a bit of time off.
All right.
Before it sort of kicks in, but I think it's gonna be a big month for him. Interest rates is a big decision for him, and then you have sort of other you can say elections coming up, sort of local elections in America. So yeah, it's gonna be a big September, October for him.
Well, his approval rating's pretty much on its knees again, right? He's struggled with his approval rating. It's not midterms up for another year, they'll say, right? But we've got some other elections I think coming between now and then. He doesn't want to lose his influence but that probably makes me believe that this is his time to strike, right? He knows now he has House and Senate power. Maybe after midterms he might not have that power. So this kind of next 12 months is his opportunity to kind of really put the hammer down and get his policies done. I mean, as he has been doing, to be fair. But I feel like it won't slow down. I feel like he will know that this is his window, and then maybe the second 2 years of his tenure, you might not be able to influence quite as much power as he has been doing so far.
Well, the markets will kind of price that in. We'll see how sort of the unemployment claims, all the sort of, you can say, data factors happen, and I think next Monday we're going to start to see a bit of hints maybe. As I said, I'm just predicting right now, but do we see this thing pull back? Or do we see it consolidate? We have to see.
Yeah, it feels to me like more like we didn't have too much in terms of down days on the S&P, but the one that I did tune in for, it was when he was, we had that big move up, and then it was the following day, this Monday, wasn't it, when we had that chat about the Fed, Lisa Cook being ousted. So if he keeps wanting to bang this drum, and if he goes after someone else, I feel like this market could take out at least that last swing low. I feel like the credibility of the central bank is already kind of being called into question. So if Trump is going to get that done, then I think that could be a catalyst. Economic data could be there. Who knows? It's difficult to kind of. It's not the punch that you see coming that hits you, right? So you got to kind of keep your ear to the ground over the course of the next few weeks. But it's going to be a busy restart to what is a nice run to the end of the year.
So what we'll do is this week we'll start to speculate and we'll see price action, and then next week we'll sort to take up some questions.
Yeah,
I'll ask you no questions this week because you're coming back, but
Thanks.
Next week we do have some questions coming up.
And maybe we can talk about some trades, right? I've not put anything on since God knows how long. So I'll be back. With some trades to talk about hopefully next week. I think there's going to be plenty to review when you're with us next Monday.
I do have a question coming in from TikTok. It's Farid. He wants to know your prediction, on where Bitcoin might be going over the next week.
Bitcoin for the next week.
That's a good question.
Let me pull up the chart.
Yeah, sure.
So he just wants to know predictions on where Bitcoin might be going.
Come on, Z.
So
nail your colors to the mast.
For me, right now, Bitcoin is pulling back. We made highs at 124. I think most crypto people thought we'll sort of go higher than this. I think for now, we're going to pull back. And I think for me, as a sort of a person that's not highly invested in Bitcoin, I'm actually looking at Bitcoin dominance. And from Bitcoin dominance point of view, it's starting to lose its dominance. And sort of I'm speculating that we go even lesser than 55, 56%, and we really see other sort of alts pump.
So there's two different ways that can happen, right? One, Bitcoin goes down more than the alts, which is that what's happening, or is it just that the alts are going up more than Bitcoin? What's happening?
The alts are going up. You see Solana, you see Ethereum, everything is sort of making highs right now.
Fine, so it's kind of like Bitcoin down and alts up at the same time. So that's really going to nail that dominance down.
Yeah. Right? So that's what I predict. I predict a weaker Bitcoin. I expect it to lose more dominance, and then we might have an early alt season in September, October.
All right. So maybe don't look to Bitcoin in that case. Maybe have a look elsewhere.
Yeah, look at Ethereum, look at Solana.
All right. Thank you, Fayed. Like that one. It's always good to put Z on the spot.
Yeah, just remind people that that's not financial advice.
Of course.
That's my speculation.
Absolutely. Any other questions for us, Russell?
You seem like you're good to go off to play golf.
All right. Got Brad to beat 2-1 up this year, so I'm going to go and make that 3.
So yeah, I've actually got a quick question. So you obviously got a running competition. Sorry, let me start again. So obviously you've got a running competition with Brad at the moment about sort of like your golf games.
Yeah, he quit on tennis because I did him to, yeah.
So how are your golf games going? Who is winning overall so far?
Well, 2-1 to me.
So 2-1
what I would say is that Brad has been taking lessons from people in the office while I've been away. I've not swung a club for a month. He's made sure to start this new game in a course that he played last week and I have never played, to try and get that to 2-all. So he's doing what he can, you know. So he's a winner at heart. So I feel like he's just trying to turn the dial in his favour. But ultimately, I'll win.
Okay, but so what you're saying is it's quite a big game for Brad today to bring the level up.
We'll report back to you guys next week.
Why don't we call Brad over? Brad, just a minute. Just a minute. So why don't you jump in?
Yeah, we're just talking about how much golf practice we've had over the past 4 weeks.
Let me get this in. Yeah, so
I'm basically going to beat Chris in about an hour.
Chris is saying that that's not the case, that he's going to actually destroy you today.
Maybe we should take the cameras to the course.
Okay, yeah, well, get on the comments, guys. Next time they're having a game of golf, should we actually go with them and video the whole affair?
Yeah, maybe we can do a little poll on here and see who they think's going to win. How about that?
Maybe we could get Chris to answer all your trading questions live whilst he's playing golf.
I'm expecting some rust coming into his game over.
Yeah, I expect so too, but it won't be enough. For 9 minutes from now, there is no US Open. So yeah, save your bullets, save your energy for tomorrow, and then through the rest of the week, it's going to be busy. Thanks, C.
Thank you, Chris.
Cheers.